One love to you, beautiful deep divers. Shout out to all of you. Another beautiful day in the heart of nature. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're not feeling down right now because of all of these negative thoughts. Yes? Okay. Because someone sent me a message. They're like, Ralph, I know you're a psychologist. I have these reoccurring negative thoughts. And these negative thoughts are really irritating me. I want to get rid of them. Is there a true way to really remove negative thoughts, or do I have to stay like this forever? A grumpy attitude because I can't deal with what's bothering me every single day. Like the world is terrible, Ralph. And it's really affecting my headspace, my mind. I wake up thinking of the end all the time. I think of death, destruction, carnage, bloodshed. Okay, chill. I got you. I'm going to help you out. I'm here to remind you, negative thoughts are not that negative. Huh? Yes, we got a whole lot to talk about, deep divers. You're going to find out why. But first of all, I woke up, did a little samba, baby, started to breathe in that good ass prana, baby. Then I began raising the frequency. Of course, I'm raising the vibration. Let me tell you this. If you are someone who has a lot of negative thoughts, you've come to the right place, because I used to have negative thoughts all the time. Then I realized that, they aren't so negative after all. There's a reason why each one of us has negative thoughts. So don't worry. Peace. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Beautiful deep divers, we are out here in the heart of nature, baby. So first and foremost, the world we're living in is positive, right? A lot of people might think, actually, no, Ralph, it's very negative. There is so much chaos in the world right now. So much bad news, right? So the world we live in is full of positivity, but also a whole lot of negativity. And as the ancients knew, as above, so below, as within, so without. Everything is a mirror. And therefore, just like the world out there is full of good and bad, we are also full of good and bad, positive and negative, light and dark. And this is not bad. This is the duality of the reality we live in. It's polarity, it's hot, cold, yin, yang. And this is everywhere. And instead of trying to remove negative thoughts, it's all about learning how to understand, understand, and overstand negative thoughts, to remind yourself that negative thoughts are not your enemy. What is your enemy is how you react to them. Slow motion this side. Thoughts are neutral. Every thought you have is like water. Now, when you label a thought as positive, it might turn into mango juice, 7-day vegan challenge. When you label a thought negative, it might turn into Kool-Aid. But ultimately, thoughts are neutral. And thoughts are never the problem. It's how we react to them, our attitude towards our thoughts, how we label our thoughts, the perspective we have influences the outcome. Let me tell you this. When I was young, I used to work in a library for some time, a few years actually. And there was always a guy that would come in, and he was full of pessimism. He's like, the world is a terrible place. It's ending. It's the apocalypse. The future's looking bleak. And I was like, this guy is such a negative person. But then I reminded myself that actually he's expressing his truth. And that can never be negative. You see, what creates negativity, in its truest sense, is suppression. So if you have a negative thought, express yourself into words to say, actually, my negative thought tells me I'm afraid of death. I have images of people dying. I have images of pandemics. I have images of new variants. I have images of things going wrong. Start expressing yourself and remind yourself there is nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's healthy. When you've done that, you now ask yourself, how is this serving me? And if it's not serving you, you got to remind yourself it's probably time to start thinking of things which are. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello? There. Stop thinking about things you cannot control and start putting all of your energy into things that you can. Many people have negative thoughts, even when it comes to dealing with other people. Maybe there's someone you don't want to be around. You have negative thoughts about them. Maybe it's the world you're living in, and you have negative thoughts about the world you're living in to say, oh my gosh, lockdown is happening. This is happening. The world is turning into a terrible place, right? So these negative thoughts are prevalent in so many people's lives. I'm here to tell you that your negative thoughts are not that negative. Listen. Negativity, your negative thoughts are symptoms. That's all. They are symptoms of something else. So when people have negative thoughts about the world right now, that's okay because that's a symptom. For example, Omicron, a new variant, right? So it's natural people are going to start having negative thoughts to say, oh my gosh, the future is going to be terrible. That's okay. That negative thought is perfectly natural. You see, positivity and negativity are the building blocks to authenticity. And when you remind yourself it's okay to feel any emotion you are going through without guilt. Thinking a negative thought does not make you a negative person. Slow motion this side. Say it again, Ralph. I said thinking a negative thought does not make you a negative person. You are not your thoughts. How about that? You are not your thoughts. You are just experiencing them for a brief moment in time. Thoughts are like clouds. They pass away. Many people cannot remove negative thoughts because they associate the negative thoughts with who they actually are. And this is the problem. You've forgotten. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are passing clouds. So allow yourself to think negative thoughts. At the same time, allow yourself to remind yourself you aren't this thought. Negative thoughts bother people because you want thoughts which make you smile all the time, but that's not the reality of the world we live in. That's not even the reality of your own body. Everything has a dual nature in this 3D dimension. Hot and cold. But ultimately, as you ascend into higher consciousness, you remind yourself you now form a oneness. Hot water, cold water, it's just water. Positive thought, negative thought is just a thought. What splits it into a negative or positive thought is your attitude. So, remind yourself, your negative thoughts aren't the problem. They are symptoms. You want to find the cause. You want to find the reason for why you are thinking this way. And say, oh, I have a negative thought because I'm afraid. I feel fear. I'm worried. I'm intimidated. My future is uncertain. And now what you want to do is say, okay, if I'm worried about the future and I have these thoughts about a negative future, what I want to do right now is to make my present better. You see, the future is nothing more than a continuation of present moments. And our negative thoughts come from the past. They come from memory. When you are in the present moment, there are no thoughts. There is only what's happening. Our negative thoughts are a recollection of the past. They can never be in the here and now. And this is why we have to practice losing our minds and coming to our senses. Slow motion this side. We have to remind ourselves every single day, the thoughts we think influence who we become. But there is something called a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you say, I am not good enough, and you have these thoughts that you are not good enough, eventually the universe will give you evidence for why you are not good enough. And you will keep having these repeating negative thoughts. The universe gives us what we are focusing on, times 10. Whatever you focus on grows. If you have a problem and you're now saying it's a negative thought, your focus on it creates more negative thoughts. And this is why you cannot solve this Rubik's Cube, because it's endless. One negative thought leads to another one. Let's just say you got bills to pay. You're in debt. You got a negative thought. Now you don't eat. 7-day vegan challenge. You haven't even had breakfast yet. I wake up every single day with a whole bunch of grapes in my mouth. So now you haven't eaten. You don't feel good either. Now you're grumpy towards other people. Now you're isolated. You're by yourself because you've been treating people like crap. So this leads to another negative. This leads to another negative thought. And now you have a low self-esteem, which leads to another negative thought. And now you have self-hate, which leads to another negative thought. So it's a domino effect. And this is why you got to remind yourself, if you've got 99 problems, don't become the 100th one. Love yourself today. Stop hating yourself for everything that you are not, and start loving yourself for everything that you are. Say thank you. I'm saying thank you every single day, whether it's snow, hail, sunshine, who cares? I'm saying thank you, because all of this didn't have to happen, but it did. It's a gift. Some people didn't wake up today. Some people don't even have food to eat. Yeah, I know, Ralph, but my problems are terrible. Okay, but remind yourself, it could be far worse. You see, when you develop a greater perspective, your negative thoughts begin to subside. Like, I know all the time, this is just like a gift from the universe. And sometimes I get negative thoughts, but it's okay. It's part of being human. I don't say, hey, I've got to get rid of them. I say I've got to embrace them. I am all about embracing negative thoughts, because your negative thoughts are nothing more than your shadow side. In our darkest moments, we become illuminated. Therefore, let me repeat that. I said, in our darkest moments, we become illuminated. Therefore, your negative thoughts are showing you something. Your negative thoughts are actually your greatest teachers in disguise. Your negative thoughts are showing you what you don't want to take a look at. And sometimes we have to give ourselves this thinking time to really think about all the negative thoughts. And then say, okay, what is this teaching me? Instead of trying to get rid of the negative thoughts, ask yourself, what are they trying to teach me? Maybe they're trying to teach you to appreciate life more, to be more grateful. Maybe they are trying to teach you to face your fears. Maybe they are trying to teach you that actually your mind is a liar and you shouldn't believe me. Your mind is a liar, deep divers. It lies to you every single day. You see, every single day, what I love to do is to remind myself that I can think a million thoughts. None of them may be true. In fact, none of them are. Everything we think about is coming from the past, is coming from memory. It's a program based on our social conditioning. And this is why it's not just about thinking, it's about immersing ourselves into the present moment. This is how we actually become neutral, because that's the goal. Not negative, not positive, but being and allowing ourselves to be where we are without shame, guilt. If that's negative, that's okay. If we have negative thoughts, that's okay. If that's positive thoughts, that's okay. I'm here to remind you, you cannot see a rose without the thorn. What? Slow motion this side. I said you cannot see a rose without the thorn. So the beauty that we all want 24/7 is the illusion, because you cannot see a rose without a thorn. Life is ugly sometimes. People are dying. There's pandemics, things are happening all around us. And it's a scary place sometimes, but it's also a beautiful place. And when we learn that actually this is part of the life cycle, the good, the bad, the ugly, but all of those things are labels. We have to learn how to see what is without forcing things to be what we want them to be. As we remind ourselves, many of us, we don't actually see things. We are seeing through our cultural lenses. We are seeing through our culture, our upbringing. And we are also thinking through our upbringing, through our expectations we have on ourselves and the expectations we're trying to live up to in society. This is why a lot of people have negative thoughts. Your negative thoughts are you trying to live up to everyone else's expectations of who you should be. And we have to let all of that go so we can become who we truly are. And when you accept yourself, when you learn how to become yourself unapologetically, your negative thoughts disappear. When you remind yourself, every thought is just a thought. And instead of being mean to my negative thoughts and saying, shut up, because whatever you resist persists. And this is why a lot of people, they go through this loop of negative thinking, because they're trying to push the negative thoughts away. But what happens is that they grow stronger. So you got to, instead of pushing the negative thoughts away, you got to remind yourself, you got a monkey mind. This monkey mind is always restless. And the more you say, shut up, be quiet, it makes more noise. That monkey mind is actually a child of yours. Your thoughts are children. And I said this many years ago. Your thoughts are children. Now, if you have negative thoughts, this is a metaphor that your children are misbehaving, they're noisy, and if you keep saying, shut up, be quiet, they'll only start screaming more. You have to love yourself. You have to give your thoughts compassion to say, okay. And all of a sudden, your negative thoughts, which were the enemy, now turn into your greatest ally. Because now they are your wisdom. They are your healing. They are your teaching. And when you integrate them within yourself, you integrate your shadow within yourself, you no longer have any negative thoughts, because those so-called negative thoughts are no longer negative. You have now made peace with them. What? Slow motion this side. And that's why you're just saying, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello? There. Deep divers, I'm just, woo, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. So, remind yourself it's okay to think negative thoughts. Those negative thoughts are only symptoms. There's something else going on, and that is the suppressed emotions, you feeling guilty to think a certain thought. Allow yourself to feel anything you want to feel without judgment or guilt. That's the art of meditation. Shout out to everyone who's been getting the wonderful Good Ass Prana shirts, deep divers, at ralphsmart.com/clothes and spreadshirt.com if you're in America. And if you are a sexy ass model, woo, with a whole lot of heart who wants to model the clothing, well, go and buy some, okay? Add me on Instagram, deep divers, for more daily inspiration. At Ralph Smart, at official Ralph Smart, and Facebook at Ralph Smart, at Infinite Waters, and Snapchat at it's that good ass prana, baby. Check out the new book, Deep Divers, for more powerful, life-changing information just like this. Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/the book. Thoughts are not the problem. Negative thoughts are not the problem. It's how we respond to them, how we see them, how we interact with them. Many people make war with their mind, when in essence we have to make peace with our minds, and our mind will start to work for us. Your mind is a dangerous master, but a beautiful servant. So don't believe everything your mind tells you. Feel everything your heart shows you. I like that. Have a beautiful day, deep divers. Peace. Infinite Waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. Yo! Negative thoughts, come back here. I want to think more negative thoughts because I'm not afraid of negative thoughts, deep divers. Don't be afraid of the darkness, because in our darkest moments, we become illuminated. Leave a comment down below, giving thanks, because this will bring you a greater headspace. Feels so good to be alive, baby. I'm grateful for that, deep divers. And the birds up there. There's a beautiful nest up there, deep divers. Have a beautiful day. Peace.